This is Nicolas from Lord Belial, and you're listening to the Dan Chan Show.
Well, I have got Pepa, guitarist from Swedish black metal outfit Lord Belial. How you doing this eve?
Hello, how are you, Dan? I'm excellent here in Bengtsfors in Sweden.
Beautiful, a beautiful part of the world, and obviously, we'll say congratulations or happy midsummer for last weekend, right?
Yeah, that's right. We were celebrating like crazy the entire weekend, like we always do in this part, And for once, we had great weather. So
Nice.
right now it's kind of the same, but the day after midsummer was totally rainy, like it usually is on Midsummer's Eve.
Right.
So we were in luck this year.
Nice. And how do you celebrate that? Obviously, it's midsummer. Do you drink? Do you eat? What's so specific about it?
I suppose it's an old, an old ceremony for making things grow. So many Swedes are born in March.
Right. I got you. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
So I'm late February myself.
Right. I got you. I got you.
So I guess that's when it happens. It's bright and shiny outside, and nature is in full bloom, and everybody's excited. A little bit of alcohol and some food and dancing.
Nice. Nice. And what about is that are you quite north of Sweden? Because obviously you're gonna have like midnight sun kind of stuff in some parts.
Oh yeah, we're not that far north. We're about the same height as Oslo.
Oh, okay. Not so
Yeah.
not that far.
No, it isn't. No.
I once took a train from Oslo to Stockholm. It was beautiful, beautiful 5 hour train journey. That was
Oh yeah,
stunning,
yeah, yeah.
stunning part of the world. I love Sweden very much. I love Scandinavia in general, but Sweden especially.
And where
So
are you now?
I live in Barcelona. I'm
Oh,
English.
I
I'm
see.
English, but I moved to Barcelona 6 years ago because of Brexit and better weather. So it's much better for me.
All right, all
That's
right.
why I'm like, where it's like 34 degrees. I've got a vest on, I'm like, it's warm. I've got a fan at my back. So it's all nice.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well, let's get into new music, right? I mean, well, first that before going into that, I want to get into your name, Pepa. Why you called Pepa? Because it's Nicholas Green, which sounds very English, Nicholas Green. Unless it's Nicholas Green's son and you just dropping the son off the end. But where did Pepa come from?
Uh, it's when I was about 7 or 8 years old, back in school, they called me that for some unknown reason, and it kind of stuck. So
Right.
it's been sticking with me ever since. And so all my friends, they call me Pepa, and people in Gothenburg that I hang out with, and etc. They all call me Pepa. They don't know who Nicolas Green is. So,
It's one of them stuck with
yeah,
you all your life.
yeah, yeah.
Love
But
it.
then family life, and now etc. And career, working. People call me Nicholas. So, but either way is fine.
Love
Uh,
it. All right, Nicholas Pepa. Nicholas is easy for me than to say the Pepa. So we'll
oh
go for
yeah, yeah,
Nicholas. We'll
yeah.
go for Nicholas. Now let's get into this new Lord Belial album, Unholy Trinity. It's out now, because it will be when this set goes out. It's out now. Is it good to finally have this album out?
Uh, yes and no.
Go on, why? Why is that?
Uh, when I create art, I tend to polish until it's no longer an actual piece of art, because it becomes something totally different once you start to polish and mix things up more and more and more until you're totally pleased. So uh, either way, sometimes when you get somebody to do something for you, or the other way around, sorry,
Yeah.
when you get an order or something from someone, you just have to finish the product and deliver. Otherwise, you might never be finished. So,
What's that famous saying, Nicholas? Is it art is never completed, it's only abandoned, isn't it? That's the saying,
all
isn't
right,
it?
yeah, that's a good one.
I'm not really sure who said that. It's never complete, never finished, it's only abandoned.
That's true. That's true. That's what I'm meaning. Uh, yeah.
So there was a pressure, not pressure from the label, but was it like certain outside pressures that made you have to finish in a certain time scale?
That's one of the reasons why we use Sonic Train Studios, because then we're on the budget and we're on the timeline.
Yeah,
so
that's
when
right.
you're on a timeline, you are very much have to finish by the time the studio time is ending.
Of course.
So actually, Thomas, he recorded the last of his vocals during a blizzard, and we were like, "Are we really going to drive in this?" Because it was snowing like crazy, and
Yeah.
they had warnings out, and it was red on the maps, etc. And people got stuck everywhere, and we were like, "Oh, come on, Thomas, let's keep singing."
Yeah.
We poured some alcohol into him, and
You got
quite late in the night, we were actually finished. So
right. Awesome. Do you find sometimes that if you had a home studio, it could never end, literally, because you just keep tweaking and keep tweaking? Whereas you're in a studio, you got that time pressure, you kind of like will complete it.
well, we have actually built one in the session recording. What's it called? The rehearsal studio. Yeah, we built one there,
Yeah.
and it's about to be. It's recordable. It's
Right.
doable. It's functioning, but then it's not the same thing, because we don't have all the fancy stuff, and we don't know how to use all the fancy stuff that Andy does. So
Yeah.
when we book him and book the studio, it's like more precise, and everything is on schedule.
I
So
understand.
he arrives in the studio at 9, and we finish at 11 in the afternoon, or sometimes earlier. But normally he arrives at 9 o'clock, so that's when we have to stand, in attention.
Saluting, get ready to go.
Yep.
You're on the clock. Now, what's going on with this album? With the themes and feelings and approach. Is it you business as usual, or are you approaching anything different? Obviously, the world is crazy at the moment. There's so much bullshit going on. There must be so much inspiration that you can pull on.
Well, I guess we kind of deep dived into analysis of the Bible for this one, and try to keep a very narrow span of narrative, and not deviate from that span, but stay focused into that narrow kind of portion of lyrics and text,
Yeah.
well around that. And in retrospective, as you said, the world is crazy, and you can draw alignments between all kinds of things, because it is apparent that Christianity has used powerful symbols and powerful ways of expressing themselves that can be sort of placed onto a variety of topics, which means, that of course you can, for example, if you analyze Nostradamus and his prophecies, they are, kind of vague, but you can apply them to a variety of things.
Of course.
And it's the same thing with the Bible. So if you turn it around and look at it upside down, and then express that instead, and then also, I think we are kind of stuck with Christianity because of Rome and the Roman Empire. Before that, all the roads, they were very narrow. People weren't that organized, and infrastructure was non-existent.
Yeah.
So once Rome was built, straight lines and everything in order. So once the message popped, it exploded from Rome to the entirety of Europe, and also the eastern part and down to a little bit east. So that's why it became so huge so fast, and then it could, get a foothold really steady.
Yeah.
And then it lasted for about 1,000 years, and then you had a big schism where it divided into West Rome and East Rome, and then Constantinople was attacked by the Ottoman Empire, and they became Muslim, and then it so. But before that, when the Celtic people invaded Rome, before the Roman Empire, what were their visions then, and what kind of religion did they have then, and how did they live in harmony with nature, etc. Things we will never know, but it's a topic that's very discussable and debatable.
Of course, I love talking about that, especially with all these crazy Christians in the States right now, outside the White House, speaking in tongues and shit like that. I mean, it's mad.
Oh, really?
The world's gone crazy, man, in that part of the world,
Okay.
Madness. So imagine if I was a black metal, I'd be going crazy if I was right. If I was creative with black metal music, I'd be going nuts on it. Because I love it. That's one thing that draws me towards black metal from the first place is the anti-Christian stance. So that's always like been a thing. And there's a lot of people that love to take that from it.
Yep.
So how do you feel like you've evolved through? This is your 10th album, isn't it? I believe it's your 10th album. So 9 albums before. How do you feel like you've evolved since? Apart from technology, I suppose technology is the only thing since what, mid-90s?
Oh man, yes. I used to call my answering machine from the rehearsal room because we had a phone on the wall.
Yeah.
I put it's not a microphone, it's a speaker as well. What's it called? The thing you hold on to. The hand.
I don't know, the telephone, the handpiece. I don't know. I know what you mean though. Yeah.
Yeah, the handpiece. I called my apartment, the answering machine started, and I put the handle on the floor, and then we rehearsed.
Wow.
So I could record, through the telephone to my tape, and I never actually listened.
Wow, that's almost like pre-internet technology. There, it's like how we used to do it. It travels down the phone line. That's madness.
It is, yeah. And then you couldn't hear that much, and it wasn't that interesting because it was more interesting to come up with new ideas. So
yeah.
But then it's always been a problem, when you rehearse intensely, even though you do it, and then the next rehearsal you don't remember anything, and then you go from, so it shifts back and forth, and then you had that great riff that you can't remember. But nowadays it's easier, we just put out cell phones and press video or something and just record in whatever way possible, and then we can backtrack to that. But also now, of course, it's easier, Thomas, he has this MacBook, and he can record stuff in that with a audio card, etc. So
yeah,
makes it easier.
Of course. Now, when you're writing, do you ever write with the listener in mind? Do you ever write from a black metal fan's perspective, or is it you just don't give a shit and it's your opinion only?
Oh, I don't think like that at all, actually. It's just something that comes out, and when whatever you make, if it's a piece of wood or a piece of metal in the blacksmith shop, or the transgression or the phase to the next part, it has to be smooth, and it has to be in harmony with your own mind. And, so you can't just chop riff and then chop riff like that. So we also try to, even though it may be a little bit on the economical side, or what's it called, commercial side, that you have a kind of chorus line or a chorus. In my when I make music, it is natural to have that. So it's not with the listener in mind, and it's not to think that people are going to sing along to this, or not at all. It's just a natural process. So
with thinking about the listener again, then how would you envisage someone listening to the new album, for example? Would you like them to sit and chill by a fire with a glass of wine, or go walking in the woods? How would you like them to listen to the album in its entirety in the best environment that you would suggest to them?
I suppose, when we grew up, it was a plastic bag of beer,
Yeah,
and we went into some guy's apartment, and just put on some vinyl and drank beer. Everybody was quiet, everybody was headbanging, and we were just listening to music, drinking beer.
yeah,
So that's how I grew up, and I guess that's how I imagine people listening to it.
awesome.
But nowadays, I suppose you're driving in your car or
Mm,
sitting in front of your computer at your work, or
yeah,
because people tend to have more office jobs these days.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Now, for those that don't know, a bit of history, you had a big break from the band, shall we say, for like 13 years or so. I mean, can you explain what the reason was behind that? Obviously you came back in 2022, you came back with the awesome Rapture album. What happened in those 13 years? Why did you decide to finish? What made you restart? What was that phone call conversation like between you all? Give me some insight.
Oh yeah, that was because I was riffing at home, and I was approached by a guy from the United States who asked me if I had some old demo tapes with another band. And I said, yes, I do. And then he said, would you like to record something new? And I said, sure, let me ask the other guys, because the drummer is dead, and the bass player, he lives in the north of Sweden, and the guitarist, he lives in the United States, and me and Mickey, we weren't that much involved at the time. So I took a drive to Mickey's house and asked him about that, and he said yes. And we booked the studio time, and I finished the album at home, and then we hired the drummer, and the drummer never showed up on the first day of recording. So Mickey had to step in, and he hadn't
Wow.
played drums for 5 years.
All right.
So I had to rewrite all the riffs and rearrange, and it turned out like crap, I'm afraid. But then in the end, that was the ignition point for Mickey,
The
to
spark. Yeah.
start drumming again.
Yeah.
And then that label in the United States, they wanted us to record a video, so we did that. And then we asked Thomas to step in for the guitarist who lives in the States, who then recorded his Anders Almqvist. He lives in Howell, New Jersey.
Yeah.
And he recorded his stuff at home, and he sent it via Dropbox so we could put it in the studio. Anyway, he couldn't find the time to fly to Sweden for a video, so we asked Thomas if Thomas could fill, to play the lead in the video, which he did. And then we said, why don't we, rehearse a bit with Lord Belial? And everybody was keen on the idea, and then that's how it got started again.
Awesome. And you never looked back since?
No. It just felt natural, but
Felt good.
I suppose everybody needed a break from everything therefore, but it was
Fair enough.
quite an extensive amount of time.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. What were you still playing in that period?
Me, yes. Yeah, sure. I mean, from time to time, not live or
No.
in any big band or
No.
anything, but
Just keeping your toes in the water, shall we say? Do you think the current black metal scene is in good shape? What's your opinion of that?
I'm afraid I have no idea.
Okay, so you're not finger on the pulse kind of guy.
I am not at all, actually. I am a little bit, how to put it?
Out of touch with it?
I am not that much involved in anything except for, I have a blacksmith shop at home.
Yeah. yeah,
So
I want to talk about it. Now's the time. Tell me about that because I want to ask you about that. How did you get into that? Was that something that was natural? Because it's a very Viking kind of thing we want to see. I can imagine, big beards and flagons of mead and lots of slamming about like you'd hear on the beginning of an Amon Amarth album. But
oh yeah, yeah.
well, how did you get into that?
It just happened. My father-in-law, he passed away, and I had all this energy built up inside, and I was quite sad and angry, and started. Oh, it just happened
Yeah,
actually, and all that energy that I apparently put into other things, it kind of
channeled in.
channeled into that. Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you make?
Just started out making small gadgets, hooks,
Yeah.
things like that, and then knives, and then finally I made a huge broad axe. From the area where I live, they found one in the end of the 19th century in 1895, and that's in a museum in Stockholm now. So I made a copy of that.
Amazing.
And then from that it has just exploded, and I can't stop now. I have to
Right.
do it all as soon as I leave work. I work in a school, and with adult education. As soon as I am back home, I just dive into it, and I never stop. So
What kind
until
of
I'm
what kind of injuries have you had, Nick? Okay, is it you got heavy things and hot things? I can't imagine it's going to be the most safest environment.
no, I used to have a business where I manufactured ammunition.
Oh,
Uh, so I also shoot quite a bit,
okay. Yeah.
guns, revolvers, rifles,
Wow.
things like that. And yeah, so I'm used to having, have to apply to a variety of licenses to
Sure.
the British government, etc. I am under strict supervision by
Right. I
the
understand.
security police, etc. So yeah,
Aw- aw-
so
Awesome. So, can we go on to any show? What shows are happening? Are you bringing it out? Are you doing any shows? Are you getting out on the road?
there's a situation in the band which will be resolved in December 2025, and after that, I'm sure we will find ways to, uh, gig again.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's a situation I can't dive into details. It doesn't involve me personally, but it's a situation in the band, and it has to be after December.
I'm going to say because it has to be a very physical playing black metal at any time of your life is going to be quite physical. But as we're getting older, I mean, you've been doing this for a long time. It must be a toll playing songs for that length of time, especially on stage for anything from 30 minutes up to an hour.
Yes, absolutely. And because we have to, when you play live, you get that energy, that intensity, and it's difficult to hold back. You can't hold back. So
No.
after 5 gigs on a tour, you become ill. You're
Yeah.
sick. You get a cold,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's standard procedure. So we always have, sort a variety of medicine lying
Mm.
around, and everybody is just popping pills and keep pushing.
Yeah. You got to keep going. And then you
But
collapse at
then,
the end.
when you headline a show and you're on tour, it's usually around 4 in the morning when you go off stage. And then everybody is very keen to talk to you and drink beer, and
Yeah.
then the party is on, and then you wake up.
It's a cycle. You do it all again. You do it all again.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And we love it. Yeah, sure. It's a great way of life. But then uh, I guess, sometimes, but to live like that in our age, I
Mm.
think you need to make a lot of money if that would work, because we all
Mm.
have families and houses and
Of
cars,
course. Of course. Of
etc.
course. Now, do you prefer studio or stage? Why did you start doing music? Was it always going to be because you like to be creative, or was it because of that live environment? And how has that changed now? Are you still in that same mentality?
Oh yeah, I don't know really. We started out, with a dream. Me and Mikke, we started playing in 1987, and we listened to bands, at that time, and we were like, "Whoa! Imagine making an album, getting a record deal, and wow!"
Yeah.
And then we got it, and it was, woo! Are we that good now? And I guess we weren't. I don't think we were, but because all sorts of people started to get record deals, and it wasn't that kind big of a deal anymore.
Yeah.
So that
Well,
dream falls.
Sweden's so full of decent music as well.
Yes, yes, very talented musicians everywhere, I think, and I suppose its part has to do with the studieförbund. It's like a union where you can study,
Yeah.
and you get
Yeah.
money from the state.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of free, and
It's
I think
encouraging culture and music, right?
it is. I think that is part of the engine why so many bands have emerged from
Yeah.
social welfare and unemployment benefits, etc.
Yeah.
And then you kind of make music because the state encourages it.
Awesome. Now, obviously, you've been there from the start, really, with black metal. Who would be on your black metal Mount Rushmore? Who do you think like surmises the scene up so much? Four people that you'd etch in rock, or you could do it in a blacksmith way. However, but what four faces would you say they're the godfathers?
Oh yeah,
In your
that's
opinion, in your opinion.
for me. It's rather easy. It's a Quarton of Battery.
Yeah.
He is my number one.
Okay.
Absolutely. But then number two, it has to be, Kronos from Venom. Yeah, Venom. And then number three, actually, James Hetfield from Metallica.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of liked Metallica quite a bit when they emerged.
Yeah.
And, with Cliff Burton and me and my friends, we went to Skedsmohallen outside of Oslo. Not the final gig, but the
The
almost.
same tour, Cliff's last tour.
Yeah, the day after they played in Stockholm in Solnahallen, and
Yeah.
then he had that accident. So
Wow, man. That's crazy.
uh,
Okay, so who's the fourth then?
oh yeah, well, uh, it's that guy from the German band Creator.
Yeah.
What's it? Mille
Yeah.
Petrossa. Yeah, yeah. He was really cool also in that era, I think.
Awesome.
But
Good
then, of
line.
course, the guys from Dark Throne, I really like them, and
Yeah.
but I think Quarton is absolutely my favorite,
Yeah, I get that for sure.
and the early albums, I think, yep.
Now, are you still getting that buzz? Does you still feel nostalgic playing this music now compared to when you were doing it, say, in the early 90s? Are you still feeling that feeling like then? Is it a good throwback? Are you anchored to those special feelings when, you were how old then,
Oh yeah, there is no such aggression like in the early Battery Venom Creator. I don't think anything can measure that, and hasn't been able to ever since. Even though people play fast as hell and they blast, like competitive blasting. I don't know if that's aggressive. It's just fast
Yeah.
and kind of boring, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then some bands that just blast away all the time and with a massive guitar mat, just riffing hysterically, it doesn't bring that energy to me at all, actually. I like the a little bit more dynamic.
Got
And
you.
an exploding guitar solo that just pierces your ears, and then like die,
Yeah, yeah,
you can hear Quart on, and that does it for me. So I guess listening to Battery kind
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
nostalgic. Yeah.
Coming to the end of this now, I want to ask you, what's the craziest thing to happen to you in music? You know, maybe something on the road or something that someone wrote about the band or something that happened in the studio, something that's like, wow, that's like a go-to story for you.
Oh yeah, it's we have so many stories, but then all those stories became a normal day at work.
Yeah,
So drinking beer and blasting fire, cutting ourselves, wide open all the time, and having blood parties. You wake up hungover and you go outside for a smoke, and then you come back in, and it smells like a slaughterhouse. Everybody's lying around bleeding, and people have puked, etc. Yeah, so that's a normal day,
yeah,
and then you're on tour and you keep doing the same thing, and people get shocked, because they have never seen that. uh,
no,
so that kind of happened one time in East Germany, and there was this band, and they were like, oh, look out, it's glass on the floor. And the bass player Anders Bloodlord, he took up a piece of glass and, what, you mean this? Yeah. And he slashed his arm wide open, so we had to, it was a wound like
yeah.
from that to whoop, like that big. So we had to wrap his arm with gaffer tape,
Oh God.
the silver tape, and then he just took a shot of 80% straw rum, rum,
Yeah, yeah,
straw rum, and it's like that. And this other band from Germany, they were extremely polite, and uh, they couldn't really believe what they were witnessing. But for us, it was just normal
normal,
procedure.
normal stuff. Now, obviously, you were around during the famous mid 90s, early 90s for when Kerrang got hold of black metal and all that scene, and Varg and all that shit. Did Sweden and Norway mix, or was it an us and them situation?
Oh, no. Me and Sven of Dimmu Borgir, we're old friends from
Yeah,
the 80s. And
yeah,
so I've been, gigging with, uh, uh, oh, it was like at Rockefeller in Oslo. We had this come together in the rehearsal studio of Mayhem, and Enslaved were there.
yeah.
The drummer, Kjetil, and
Mm,
people like that. So kind of what later became the elite.
yeah,
But so we have always been mixing, and also that guy, Metallion. I don't know if he's still alive. He used to run a Slayer a
right.
magazine. Yeah, we were kind of neighbors, and so it's always been cross border.
Yeah,
No problem here in this area. It's a bit different if you're from Stockholm.
yeah,
Then it's more competitive.
yeah,
It's a Stockholm mentality, I think,
yeah, and death metal and all that.
because people from Gothenburg are normally more laid back, and
Mm,
in the west of Sweden, a little
yeah,
bit more laid back, down to earth.
I got you.
So
I
I'm sorry
understand.
to say, but it's the truth,
Yeah,
actually.
no, I understand. I understand. And it's good to have your honesty. Finally, my last question. What track should I play from the new album and why?
Oh, I would have to say, well, because the whore is out, and
Yeah.
Antichrist is out, and also Ipse Venit is out already. So the Great Void, perhaps.
Okay. Let's play that next. Listen, Nicholas, thanks for joining me this evening, mate. Good luck with the album. Hope to see you on the road, maybe 2026, and good luck with everything.
Thank you so much, Dan. It was my pleasure. Thank you very much for your interest in the band, and it was an absolute pleasure talking to you.